We can read and write files on our file system using Python, but when we do this, we need to be careful as it's possible to accidentally overwrite a file that we shouldn't have. We'll read and write files to do things like open external data files or store data across program runs. Again, I just want to emphasize that when we do this, we're working with our actual file system, or the files that we actually see when we open up Finder. So we can read data from a file by first calling open, and then passing in the name of the file we want to read as the first argument, in R, short for read, as the second argument. This gives us a Python object that allows us to then work with the file. One method that we can call is .readLines, which creates a list of lines in the file. Here, I'm going to call myfile.readLines and assign all of the lines to lines, and I can loop over all of those lines and print out every individual line. Whatever we do, we're just working with the file here, and then when we're done working with the file, then we can call myfile.close. In addition to readLines, there's a read method that reads in all of the contents of the file as a string. So here I'm opening the file the same way, except I'm calling data equals myfile.read, which loads in the contents of the file as one long string. So if our file is JSON formatted, then I might work with it by importing JSON and loading the string in data and putting that into Python object before still closing the file. If we wanted to write instead of read, then first we would change the second argument of open to a W for write. We would swap steps 2 and 3. And if we're working with JSON data, then instead of loading a JSON formatted string, then we would want to dump a JSON formatted string. And then instead of reading the data, we would want to write out the JSON formatted string. So we can read and write data to and from our file system, but we need to be careful to avoid overwriting data that we need. Again, files are flat strings, but we often use formatted strings like JSON or CSVs. We'll read and write data to do things like open external data files or store data across multiple program runs.